The Pattern tool in Adobe Illustrator allows you to take a piece of artwork and turn it into a repetitive pattern. I've started with a blank document and used the pen tool to create a shape. Go to the window menu and select Pattern Options. This panel pops up and it will allow you to see all of the options before getting started with making the pattern. In order to make the panel options available, you must select a piece of artwork on your artboard, this one that we have right here, and turn it into a pattern. The piece of artwork can be any shape or line or vector. Then you will go to the Object tab at the top of the page and select Pattern, Make. Illustrator will then tell you that it is going to automatically add your pattern to the swatches library. Each time you make a change to your pattern, the swatch will be updated on its own. So we're going to hit OK on this box, and once you hit OK, your swatch will show up in the library on the right, and you can see that the pattern has formed on the screen. All of the options in the Pattern Options box over here should be activated now. At the top, a gray bar has shown up where you can indicate whether you want to create a new pattern, save a copy of the current one, or say that you are done, or simply cancel out. To the left of this bar, there is a button to exit pattern editing mode. If you decide that you are finished making changes to your pattern, you can click on the arrow and exit. In the Patterns panel, you have the option to title your pattern with a name. It is helpful to name your pattern something descriptive in order to identify your patterns later in the swatch library. Below this feature, you can create your pattern by configuration. It defaults to the grid, but you can select brick by row, brick by column, hex by column, or hex by row. Each design configures the pattern in a different way, as you can see. By changing the width and the height of your pattern, you can control the size. When you change the width or the height, everything resizes in order to fit those parameters. For example, if we say 130, you can see the difference. And same here, if we make it smaller, they'll get closer together. If you would like it to stay in proportion on all sides, then click the link button on the right-hand side of the width and height. If you select Size Tile to Art, the shapes in the pattern will stay the same size as the original artwork that was chosen. When the artwork is moved around after this, the tiles will follow as well, like so. If you have played with the width and the height and do not like the changes, selecting Size Tile to Art will change it back to the original dimensions like we have done. Similar to the height and the width, the spacing can be adjusted. Changing these dimensions will affect how far apart or close together the tiles are. For example, below this option is the overlap. It controls whether the left portion of the pattern is in the front, or the right, or the top, or the bottom. This only makes a huge difference when your pattern tiles are close together. In the Copy section, you can determine how many tiles are in the preview grid. The number is just for you to see in effect, as the final pattern can repeat infinitely. You can change it to 9 by 9, or 3 by 5, 5 by 3. You can go any direction. Dimming these copies will emphasize the original shape in this preview only. If you click Show the Tile Edge, you will get a line around the boundary of your original artwork. So here we can see the shades get dimmer. It'll default at 70. We are currently showing the tile edge, which is this box around right here. Or you can show the swatch bounds, which creates this even bigger box. But I find it more helpful to have that off. Once you are done fiddling with all these options and your pattern looks how you want it to, be sure to save your pattern one last time. Now, if you create a shape, you can fill it with our pattern. Ta-da!